programming language, and then I was explaining how simple the Python program was compared to other programming language. Just to write a message like hello world in Python is just one line, while in the other programming language like C, it's too much complicated. You have 5 lines, 6 lines in C++, 8 lines in Java. But in Python, it's only one line. We already practiced that. And Python, compared to other programming language, uh, every statement in Python is seen as a logical line. Okay, I explained that. I will come back again on that. Whether in other programming languages like C, the end of the instruction is mentioned by specific characters like the semicolon, as you can see. But in Python, we don't have any end of statements. So each logical line is seen as a full statement of instruction. So I mentioned last time, like we have two kind of lines for a Python program. We have logical lines and physical lines. Logical lines stand for a complete statement of an instruction. So you can have an instruction that goes through multiple physical lines. In such kind of cases, we have to use explicit line continuation, which is backslash, showing that the program is the instruction is continuing to the next line. You can also use some implicit line continuation by using parentheses, braces, or uh, bracket or braces. So this is the way to show the interpreter, while the interpreter will be parsing the scripts line by line to understand that the line of the instruction is going to the next physical line. Like this represents a single logical line, but multiple physical line. And the continuation of the logical line is marked by those backslash characters showing that the line is continuing. This is one instruction, the if instruction. This is a compound or a complex if instruction with other logical connectors. I will explain that later. So key characteristic of physical line. A physical line is just representing a single statement of script on a physical line, while it shows the end of a physical line by using slash backslash n. When you show backslash n, you will tell the interpreter that it should go to the next line. But automatically, the Python will be treating each line as a new line to run the statement of each line as an instruction. To show you an example for that, we have here a Python program script that has 4 physical lines. As you can see, this first line is a full instruction to print the message x plus y computing program. And then the second line is a full instruction that is initializing the variable x with the value 10. You have also the third line, which is also an assignment instruction. And the fourth one will be the instruction that will be showing the result of this operation. So this is the illustration of a physical line. And in some cases, we may have a long instruction which goes through multiple physical lines, as I've explained, but logically is a single line. For you to represent that, you can use the parentheses, braces, or using this continuation mark to show the continuation of the instruction. But it is recommended to break down long expression in a more natural and meaningful fragments to make it readable. Avoid using multiple instructions in one line. It may be confusing for you to implement such kind of instruction. To separate the full statement of instruction, we can use semicolon, but it is not recommended to use that for readability. But it's possible. So make your codes meaningful by using indentation, because the indentation is one of the approach which is used by the Python to tell the interpreter the relationship between the lines. I also pointed out last time the execution mode we have for Python program. We have the interactive modes. The interactive mode is to run the instruction on the Python shell invades terminal. So for this, you have to run instruction one by one, and for complex size of Python script, it will be difficult to use this approach because you cannot reuse again the code later. That's why I've recommended the second approach, to use the Python scripts, where you put all the Python instruction in a file that will be having the extension of .py. For you to run that Python program in the .py file, you need to provide the file as inputs to the Python interpreter. You have to make sure that you have the Python interpreter installed on your computer. So depending on the version of the Python interpreter you have installed, if it's the normal one, you can just use the keyword Python if it's recognized by your operating system. If not, you install, for example, the version 3 of Python, you can use Python 3 to access to the Python shell and then provide the inputs of the file containing the Python program. For you to show the contents to the user through the terminal, we use the built-in Python function, which is the print. We have used that to print the hello world message. And while you provide the Python script in the file .py, the Python interpreter will be using the parsing approach to parse all the characters of the script in the file that will be streamed as token. Those tokens will be generated by the lexical analyzer, which is the module of the Python interpreter. And then the all program source code will be encoded in a specific formats, because the scripts will be translated in the bytes code, and then the bytes code will be translated in the machine language format for the computer to run that. This was illustrated last time through this figure, where we have the scripts which is provided to the Python interpreter, and the output will be shown to the terminal in the scripts execution mode. Okay, I've covered that. For Python language, we can also add comments in our Python program for us to explain our code or make the code more readable. So this is useful, for example, for big size of codes, because after some time you may forget, okay, the specification of the codes. So it's also recommended to add some comments for explaining what the part of the code is doing. And it's also easy for communication in the case you are working on the same projects in the team. So this will help other member of the team to understand the code easily. And it can be also used to prevent the execution when testing the code. So for us to make a comments in Python, this can be done by using the sharp character. before the line. Automatically, when you put that, you will see even the color of the content will be different from the script that will be recognized as a Python instruction. So this line will not be recognized by the interpreter. The interpreter will ignore that. It's only for the user, for the development purpose. But the Python interpreter will understand only this line because it's a full statement in the Python language. You may also be wondering where to put the comments. The comments can be placed anywhere, before the line, after the line of the instruction, or just next to the line of an instruction. So it depends on you where you want to put the comments of a block of code or a specific instruction. Like here, I've put the comments next to the instruction at the end, or you can also put it before, on the top, or after, at the bottom of full statements. In some cases, you may have a comment that goes on multiple lines. There is not a specific instruction for Python to deal with that kind of cases. You can just break the comment for each line, just put the sharp at the beginning. But this one can be messy. For you to make it simple, you can use the quotes, triple quotes, to make multiple line comments. So these 3 lines cannot be recognized by the Python interpreter. When the Python interpreter will be reading the source code, it will skip this part, only translate this line because it's a Python full statement. You can use double triple quotes or single triple quotes. So that is also recognized in Python. This is a single triple quotes is also accepted to put comment in multiple lines. Be sure when you open those triple quotes, you have to close them. If you don't close, everything that will come after this line will be seen as a comment until when you close the opening triple quotes. Then here come a small detail. Okay, I mentioned that last time. Even though we can use the triple quotes for mentioning the comments, we can also use the single, double, or triple quotes also to deal with the sequence of character, which is seen as a string literal in Python. When you have a sequence of characters, which is seen as a string type, you can put those objects inside the quotes, whether it's single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes. So be sure to close wherever you open a quotes like this. You have to close it. Since this is a Python instruction, this will be seen as a full instruction. Let's try this one using our Python development environment, like Visual Studio Code. I will open a new file. So I will show you how to make a Python scripts program. Again, you go to file. You go to file here in Visual Studio, and you make a new file. If you don't have a specific project, for example, a folder, that's the first approach. The second approach, you can just go here in the folder. When you click here, you will see those icons. The first shows the file icon with plus. It means when you click here, you will make a new file. Okay. You have to specify the name and the extension of the file. The second one is to make a folder. So here I click on this button. I have to make a Python example, for example. .python. If you don't put the extension, this will not be seen as a Python script file. And then here you have an empty file. You can use now the editing zone here. Here you have the editing zone to edit your Python instructions. So here we have this case variable words. I will explain that later, what we call a variable and what is the role of a variable. Prints, we have used print to show or print some results to the terminal. This means I take this sequence of characters, I assign to this variable, which is labeled as words, and then when I call this variable, it will show the content of this variable. So when I save and hit on the button here, play, you will see the result is the content I've put in the file in the variable called word. Same for the other one. I can add other instruction, like this is how to save a sentence made of a sequence of characters in a memory using a variable. This means I take this sentence made of the sequence of characters and I will save this one in this variable as a container. I will explain that. And then print mean I have to take the content of that variable. As you can see, when you use an IDE, it's help you, okay, with the syntax, and it can help you to complete the instructions. When I click again on the play button, you will see I have now 4 lines, okay, 4 lines representing 3 instructions. When I click here, I have 2 outputs, words, and this is a sentence. I can make now the third example that is used to show how to save multiple line texts in Python. So you have to put triple quotes like this. And then you can add your contents. You have to do the indentation. I explained last time. You can also refer to that in the notes. Then I have to make sure that the triple quote I open is closed. Okay. And then I will go to the next line to print the content of the text I save in my variable called paragraph. Here the IDE helped me also by checking the spelling. Let's assume that I open that here, I didn't close. You can see the IDE will highlight showing that this is not the correct Python syntax. And when I put like this, the parser will understand that this is the correct Python instruction. And when I run, you will see I have this output. This is the way you can manipulate command and text in Python. After explaining that, I've also explained how you can use a blank line in Python. The blank line may be like using a Python instruction like inputs, showing a message, but after running this instruction, there will not be anything that will happen to the outputs from the user perspective. I thought last time we we did that example. Here is the file scripts. This mean inputs, I will use the function inputs asking for an action coming from the outside, from the real world, from the user. So the action will be to ask the user to press on the enter key button on the keyboard to exit. This line means I will go to the next physical line. 2 times mean I will make 2 lines. And then when I run this instruction, you will see here, it shows the message, press enter key to exit. And then this means it is inviting the user to provide an input. So the input here is just pressing on the button. When I press on enter, the program will be terminated. I have explained earlier that there is a possibility to run several instructions in one physical line in Python. For you to achieve that, you have to use semicolon like this. So when semicolon will be detected, the Python interpreter will understand that this is the statement, a full statement, okay? And then this one also will be seen as a full statement. This one also will be seen as a full statement. So it's like removing the semicolon and put all those 3 statements on physical lines. So you will have 3 lines. When you run this line, the Python will be understanding that it should run or execute 3 instructions. So this is what I've mentioned last time. And then in instructions that have multiple line from the syntax, mostly they are made of 2 parts. You have the header line and then the body. The header line, most of the time, it's end with column at the end. And then come the body of the instruction that will be containing one or multiple line according to the type of the instruction. So that kind of instruction can be illustrated here by the elif instruction. Physically, it goes through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines, but logically it's 1 line, which starts from if until to this line. And then this is the main instruction, which is made using the keyword if, and then you have an expression followed by this. It means this is the header of this instruction. Then will come another instruction here. The header of this elif instruction will be terminated by the column and so forth. In another example, we have the for instruction, which also has the header line that terminates with that column. In other case, you may use the while instruction, which also do the same thing. To get help for any keyword or any instruction in Python, you can request that by using the -h as instruction to the Python interpreter. Okay, this will provide help for any instruction. You can provide the option here, like here, you put the Python interpreter, and then you add, for example, here if as an option to know what is the syntax of the if instruction. You can add also other flags. If you want to get all the details, just read for any flag, the meaning of the flag and when to use the flag. Depending on the needs, you can make an instruction to get what you are looking for. You can also get the list of topics covered by the Python instruction. The topics represent the list of functionalities that are implemented in the Python interpreter, starting from the assertion, the assignment. For example, the assignment is the program running in the Python interpreter when we use equal symbol. This will be referring to this program which is running in the background. So for example, when you use x equal 10, this equal symbol will be referring to this module running in the Python interpreter. So you have a plenty of topics that are implemented. So all the topics are providing instructions, okay, that will be used to call and run the functionality of the topic by the Python interpreter. So as you notice when I showed the difference between the structure of a Python program compared with C, C sharp, C++, or Java. So all programming languages have their own grammar and the structure, okay, with the syntax for every instruction. In Python, a Python script is made of lines, okay? Those lines, we have discussed that they can be categorized in two lines. Logical line represents a full statement, an instruction. Physical line are used basically to write the code on each line that may, in some case, be a full statement, or in some case, they may be partial component of a logical line. So the Python represents the code as a block that use a technique which is called of indentation to show the relationship between those lines. So the indentation is the white space we leave at the beginning of a line, a physical line, okay? And then it can be used to group lines depending on the business logic we would like to implement. Unlike other programming languages, they use other approaches to group instructions. They also use some braces or other approaches to represent that. In Python, this is a Python script program made of several physical lines, okay? This first line is seen as a full instruction, a statement, where we have a variable that will be used to store the the value of this expression, this statement. This is a full statement saying that the user should provide a value representing the age as an input, and this value should be converted into integer type, and then the value will be stored in this variable. And then we have to test. Here is the if, a nested if instruction, okay? A nested if instruction that goes through multiple lines. And then for us to show the Python interpreter, the relationship between those lines, we use the indentation. The indentation is this space. This means this instruction depends on this condition. If this condition is satisfied, this block of line will be executed. Then we make what we call here the first level of indentation. So this block will be only executed if this condition is verified. If the condition is not verified, okay, we can go to this second block. This second block also has some dependent line. So this line will be executed only if this condition is satisfied. and so forth. So this block here represent also another level. We have another if instruction inside another if, which is here. So for this second block, this print instruction to be executed only if this condition is satisfied and this one. So this represents the relationship between those instruction. Those instruction are the at different levels. Level 1, level 2, level 3. So from indentation perspective, first level indentation and then second level indentation. So the indentation is very important even when we use the interactive mode. I will show you in the interactive mode. You remember here when I use interactive modes, I run the terminal through the Windows terminal. Here I will show. I run the Python using the Python instruction like this. And then from here, I can write an instruction like a equal 10. This is a Python instruction. When I hit on enter, the instruction is executed. But let's, in this case, I press first on space. I have a white space, okay? And then I use the same instruction, a equal 10. This time, this will not be recognized as an instruction by the Python interpreter. Look at the message that will be shown. It says that this is not the right syntax. Okay, it doesn't expect any indentation because this is a full statement that does not depend on other statements. I shouldn't leave this white space. I can only leave a white space if this instruction is depending on the other. Let me take an example. If a equal 10, this is the head of my instruction. Look at now the terminal. It shows also that I have an error of syntax. I didn't use the appropriate syntax for if. Why? Because this equal is representing the assignment in Python, not the equal expression. So when I fix that, I have to use double equal like this. And then when I add one more, this will make this instruction correct. You see here, when I hit on enter, automatically it shows that I go for an indentation. Okay, I have to do that at the end. Like this, the line that will come after this column is the instruction that depend on this line. So I can say that, okay, if this condition is verified, print A. Then when I hit enter, it shows that I'm still inside the if instruction. So although I'm on the third line, I'm still in the single logical line until I close the if statement. Okay, so I can say at this stage, okay, I go like that. I can also add another option, like if I put else, for example, what will be the next step? It will be writing the instruction for the else. I will say print nothing, just showing empty instruction like this in prints. So this was just the illustration for the concept I've explained for logical and physical lines and the notion of indentation. For example, in some cases, you may have an instruction that goes on multiple lines. On the left side, this is not the appropriate way of doing the indentation, okay? Like I've shown in the terminal. So since this second line is depending on this first line, it should be represented as shown here. So this opening parenthesis should be the beginning of the attribute that need to be provided to the for or this long function name. Or you can use only tabulation. Okay, you have the tab key on the keyboard to make that space. Is the same as if you use backspace 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be also accepted by the Python interpreter. In other cases, you may have an if condition going through multiple lines. Remember to match the attributes of the opening parenthesis to be the beginning of the next lines that will come depending on this instruction. This is some recommendation I wanted to give you. So far, was dot content was relevant to the Python interpreter syntax and Python scripts organization in terms of indentation. So now let's see what we call identifiers and variables. I've mentioned roughly a few times the concept of variables. What does it mean exactly in programming? So in Python, an identifier is a name, okay, which is used to uniquely identify a variable, a function, a class, a module, or any other object. It's like your name. Your name is an identifier which identifies you, okay, in a society, okay? We can call you by your name. An object also can be called by its name. The name of an object in Python is called as identifier. So an identifier in Python needs to identify uniquely an object. So it can be made of letters, capital or smaller, or underscore. They can be used from the beginning of an identifier, and they can contain letters or digits or underscore, depending on your will. Like here, you have this is an ID that can be used to name an object, like name 01, my name, my underscore name, or underscore my underscore name. Those names can be used as an ID for an object in the Python programming language. So the Python does not accept any specific or special characters like dollars, such kind of characters, or these kind of characters. They cannot be accepted by Python as ID. They can be used in some cases for some specific operations. And then Python is also case sensitive. That means when you use capital letter or small letter, it makes the ID different. Like here, students with capital S and student with small s, they are two different ID. They are not referring to the same thing. And then IDs cannot be any of the Python reserved keywords. So here is the list of the Python reserved keywords that shouldn't be used as an ID, whether for a name of variable, a function, or a class, any objects used in the Python. They cannot be used as a ID. So you have a list of 36, I think, keywords starting from false. non-true, and, as, assert, break, class, continue, you name it until here. Those keywords cannot be used as a variable ID or identifier. For you to access to that list of keyword, you can just use the help function at the Python shell, and then provide the keyword as parameter. Like here at the terminal, I can just use help function and then provide as a parameter keywords. Here is the list of all keywords which are reserved for Python internal identification in terms of instruction or object identifiers. You cannot use them for your custom identifiers. Be aware of that. If you use that, it will not work. For example, to illustrate just that, let me say, for example, I have false. I say false. This is a keyword equal 4, 5. You see, false is not recognized as a keyword that can be used for any custom instruction. So this lead me to the concept of variable. I have mentioned several times the keyword variable. What is a variable? Is a container, okay? Is a container reserved, okay, memory location, okay, where we store values. It's like a container in which we store a value of a specific type. Like here we have my int, which is a container to store an integer value. Any value of type integer can be stored in this container. You have another container that can be used for storing real numbers, values, like numbers with decimal points, okay, like 2.5. You have also another container which can be used to save characters like A, B, C as a single character. Its name, for example, my char. You may also have an object which is made of a sequence of characters, which is of type string. You can use a specific container to store those values, okay? So this is a variable that represents a memory which is allocated to keep that value in memory in your computer. So the memory has many addresses that are represented in hexadecimal numbers like this. So for each address, we have a slot of memory which is reserved to store the value of the data, which can be data of different types, okay? You can store them in a computer, and the computer will store them in the format of 1 and 0, in the binary format, as we have discussed previously. And then the location of that sequence of binary values is accessible through a number, which is referred to as an address. So when we have a variable name, the variable name, the Python interpreter will be linking that variable name to any of these kind of numbers as an address. When you call the variable, it will be referring to the related memory address, and then will give you back the results like here. For it will give you the result 2.5. This one will contain, for example, this, and this one will contain this. So this is what is going behind the scene when we use the Python interpreter. For the creation of a variable in Python, compared to other programming languages, you have to declare the variable and its type before it's used. But the Python does not have any explicit declaration of variable at all. So whenever you use the caption name of a variable and then you use this equal to assign a value, automatically Python will consider that variable and the type of the data which has been assigned to it. So you don't have to make a declaration before for the type of the variable. Like in those 4 boxes, for example, if I want to make 4 boxes like this, 4 containers to store several types of data, I can implement this case in Python by just using this variable name. My int is the name I assign to a variable. And then when I use this equal, it means I will take this value or the result of the expression on the right side that will be assigned here to the variable which is located to the left side. So which is called as an operand on the left, and then you have the operator, which is the equal for assignment, and then you have the other operand on the right side, which can be a value or an expression. So for the real number, I can also use a name of a variable, my real, and then I can store numbers with decimal points. Same for a character. Since the character is not a number, I should put in quotes, whether it's a single quote or double quote. If it's a sequence of character, which is of type string, I can put also that sequence of characters in the quotes or single quote or double quote. So this is what we call the creation of variable. So it's automatically taking the type of the value which is assigned to it. So as variables need to be used, we need to understand what is the convention to follow for making the names of variables, because the names of variables will be used as identifiers of variables. A variable name is just a short name that can be used to refer to the variable that contains a specific value. You can use just a single letter like X or Y to represent a value, or you can also use a more descriptive name like age, car name, total, volume. But remember that this is the ID of the variable. It should be uniquely identify a variable. You cannot have the same name for different variable. No. And then in terms of convention, so the rule to follow while you are making the name of the variable, the first rule is that the name of a variable can start with a letter, okay, whether it's small or capital letter, or an underscore. And it can be followed by 0 or more letters, or underscore, or any number from 0 to 9. Secondly, it cannot start with a number. The variable name cannot start with a number. Third, say that the variable cannot contain any special character, okay, except A up to Z and digit underscore. Except this domain, you cannot use any special character for the variable name. And then you have the case sensitive. So whenever you change a letter in capital or small letter, it will make the variable name different. Like age with all character in capital letter, there are different variable names. And then you shouldn't use any of the Python reserved keywords I mentioned earlier. So if you follow all those rules, you will not have any issue. Then comes here the case where you have a variable name which is made of several words. So how to deal with that? There are several patterns. Most of them have been, let's say, reduced to 3 main patterns. You have the camel patterns, the camel pattern say that the first letter should be a lowercase, and then the first letter of the next word should be capitalized like this. You have the first one start with small letter, and then the first word which make the composed name of a variable, and then the next word also will be capitalized like this. So this is the camel approach. Is like this. Okay, the camel approach. So the second pattern is which is called the Pascal case. The Pascal case says that the first letter of the first word should be uppercase. So you have here the first word, first character is uppercase, 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 uppercase. This is the Pascal case. The third pattern is the snake case. The snake case say that use a single underscore, okay, to separate the word. Like here, you have km underscore per km hours, or price underscore per, like this, okay? So this is the pattern that need to be used to make the name of variables. So here, correct examples and wrong ones. So the correct one is like this. You can use all lower character for a variable that store the sequence of character as a string object. You can use the snake case like this, underscore in the middle or at the beginning and the middle. It's also okay. You can also use the camel approach like this. It's okay. Or you can use also the Pascal one. The first letter is capitalized or all characters capitalized. You can also put numbers, but in the middle or at the end, not from the beginning. Those are the correct one. Okay. You shouldn't do this one. Put a number at the beginning. This is wrong. You shouldn't put dash in the middle of two words. Is wrong. You shouldn't leave a white space for a variable name. You shouldn't put a point like this between two words. You shouldn't put those special characters at the beginning. So just use the approach on the left, notes the approach on the right. Okay, be aware of that.
Proper.
Yes. Do you have any question? If you don't have any question, please be muted. Okay. So in terms of assignment, I've already explained. When you assign a value to a variable, automatically the variable type will be depending on the type of the value you have assigned. Like here, variable x is assigned the value of 4. Automatically, the type of this variable value will be int in Python. When you assign decimal point number, it will be of type float. When you assign true or false, it will be a Boolean. When you assign a sequence of character object, it will be a string. So there is one thing I want to mention here. A variable means it's a container that can change the value it stores throughout the execution of the program. Like here, the value stored in X here was 4, okay? If I consider this as a Python program, okay, all those 5 lines, the value stored in X here was 4. And then when the interpreter run this line, will override the 4 by this value. It will be 4.2. So this value will be override. And then when we will be at this stage, it will be true. This value will be override by this new value. And then here, the last one will be student. This will be the value stored in X when the program will be running and the interpreter will reach to this line, and then the value that will be printed from X will be students as a sequence of characters. So be aware of that when you build your business logic, especially in the sequential order. Do not override the content of a variable. If you override the content of the variable, the previous value will be gone. You will lose the value. Okay. So if you need that value for future operations, be sure to store that value in a temporary variables or in another alternative variable. So if you don't store that in another variable, it will be lost. So you will not recover it again. I hope it's clear. So there are also ways to assign multiple values, okay, to different variables simultaneously. Like here you have A, B, C, which have to be assigned with the same value, which is 10. Okay. So instead of doing this with 3 instructions, you can do that only with 1 instruction. Okay. Like this. A equal B equal C and equal 10. This means take this 10 assigned to C. Take the value of C assigned to B as a variable. Take the value in B assigned to A. So this will be simple, okay? And then when you print, you will have 10, 10, 10. So this is also same. You can also print it differently. You have 10, 10, 10. Okay, let's try it. I will try that one using the interactive modes, because I will always try to switch from one approach to another just to show you how you can use those tools until you get used to that. So in the interactive modes, remember that in the interactive mode, I cannot reuse the code. This is the issue. So I have A, which equal 10, okay? And then B equal 10, C equal 10, okay? Then I print A, B, and C. You will see I have 10, 10, 10. This is the same as if I did A equal B equal C equal 10. So when you are in the Python shell, you can see reuse the previous code just by using the upper keyboard sign, up, up, and then I can reuse this one. You can see I have the same value. So this is the way you can assign multiple variable with the same value. In this case, I show how to assign different value, okay, different values simultaneously to different variables. Like here, I have A, I assign 1, B, 2, and C, Korea as a sequence of characters. So this is also same. I can do that by just using comma to separate those variables. So let's try it and see if it works. You can see now in A, I put 1. If I try to access to the content of A, look at now, it's 1. That means this value of 10 has been override. So I lost it forever. Do not make that mistake. And then I will now initialize the value of B as 2. Same for B. To access to the value of B, I just call the variable name. When I put B, you will see the content of B now is 2. The 10, which was the previous value in B, will be override. I lost it. And then in C, I put Korea as a sequence of characters. Okay. When I call C, to access the value inside a variable, just call the variable by its name. You will see now inside I have Korea. I've lost 10, okay, which was the previous value. If I run the previous instruction of print A, B, and C, you will see I have 1, 2, and Korea this time, okay? Now let's use the second approach, okay, with the assignment in one line. A, comma, B, comma, C equal 1, comma, 2, comma, and then sequence of characters. It works. That means when I call the print, I have the same result. So be aware of that. This is the power of the Python programming language, which cannot be found in other programming languages. And then I've explained about the case sensitivity of Python. For example, here, if I have A, in A, I have 1, okay? Small a, I have here 16. When I call, I have 16 inside A. And then I have capital letter A, I put inside Merlek as a sequence of character. When I call A, you will see, in this case, A capital letter value does not override this value inside the small a. That means the Python consider a small and bigger as a different variable names. Be aware of that. Same for this example as well. In the age with small a, I put 20. If I use age capital letter with 30, it will not override. So you may build your logic correctly, but if you make such kind of mistake, it will affect the correctness of your program. Okay, be aware of that. Okay, after explaining about the creation of variable, the assignments, and then I will now explain about the types, how to get the type of a data, because Python do not provide a mechanism to declare the value or the type of declare the type of a variable explicitly. It's dynamically assigned that at the runtime as you assign for the first time the value to the variable. So this is going on at the runtime. We have several types of values that can be stored in variables. The Python data type can be represented as follow in 5 main categories. You have the numbers, you have the Boolean, you have the sets, you have the collection for dictionary, and you have the sequences, okay? So for the numbers, you have several type of numbers. You have integers, okay? That can be positive and negative, but without the decimal part. You have floats that can be any number with decimal part, okay, including also the negative one. You have also the complex numbers, okay? Complex numbers, they go beyond the size of integer and floats. With the Boolean, you have 1 and 0, true or false. You have also the other side, you have the string. The string is like what I've used here, the characters, A, B, C, numbers, the characters. And then you have also the list. The list can be a combination of several objects, okay, that can be combined. And the tuple also can be a combination. They are complex type of numbers. The dictionary is a collection of objects. You have also the sets. So I will explain all the types one by one. Additionally, we have other types like the binary, which is used for operations in binary formats, like I've shown the addresses of memory. They are represented in the binary format or type. You have also the non-type. Non-type also is the absence of any type for a variable. Here you have a table that summarizes all the types, most of the type supported by Python as a built-in function type. You can also build your custom type depending on your data structure. It's also possible. The integer are identified by the keyword int. Okay. All numbers, positive, negative, without the decimal points. The floats is the one used to identify the real number with the decimal points. You have str is the keyword which is used to represent the type of a sequence of characters. The bool is the keyword used to represent the Boolean type, true and false. You have the list is the keyword which is used to represent a list of values, which can be numbers, sequence of characters, combination of other objects. They can be mixed type. You have tuple is also another collection of values which are ordered immutable collection. I will explain that later. We have also the set is also a collection, okay, of values. Dict is the keyword used to make a dictionary, which can be a combination of value object made of key and values pair like this. Non-type is just a representation of a no result. So here the Python building type we'll be using to build our Python logic. You have complex for complex numbers that combine digits with letters. Okay, they are used for scientific or engineering applications. You have bytes. Bytes also are immutable sequence of bytes that can be used to represent. You have bytes as a keyword to represent the encoding of the data in the bytes format. You have bytes array is an array of bytes that can be stored in memory as a mutable sequence of bytes. Range represent a keywords that can be used for generating a sequence of numbers or objects using a loop. So you have the starting point and the ending point. You have also frozen sets, which is a type of immutable version of sets. You have memory view is also another type which is provided to represent the byte data in memory, okay, without copying. So for some example, you can see the range of values to represent the int type. You have also negative numbers, also this type. Here you have this is the decimal representation. Here you have the hexadecimal representation of a number, negative number. You have also the decimal part number, which are represented as a floats type. You have basically a float object has three components. You have the integer parts, you have the decimal points, and then you have this decimal value. So be aware of that. And then for specific cases, let's say you want to fix a variable type, you can also do that in Python. But for you to achieve that, you have to use the casting approach. The casting method is used to specify the type of data that can be accepted, okay, for a specific variable. So you can define that by using the casting. Like here, you have this variable w. You can specify that this variable can only take string value. Although if you give a number, this number will be encoded as a string, okay, as a character, not as a, you cannot do computation on it. If you fix, okay, the type of variable like x, saying that this one can only be taking integer, so you use int function. the value that will be put inside the parenthesis, it's a parameter that will be converted into int. Let's assume that inside here I put 3.25. If I use ints, ints will only store these parts 3 and ignore 25 because the type has been specified by the casting approach. When I provide the ints, it will convert this real number into integer. If it's by default, okay, casted as a real number, in this case, it will add the decimal point like this, 3.0 in memory. It can store that like that. Same for bool, which is used to store only Boolean values. If you put 1, it will take it as true. If you put 0, it will take it as false. So for you to get the type of a variable, just use the function type, and then inside the parentheses put the name of the variable. Just to come back to our example here, I have this a. If I would like to take to know the type of this variable a, I have just to put inside the print function, because the print function will print the result to the terminal, and then I put type like this, type, and then inside parentheses I put the name of the variable a. You can see here the type of this variable is str. That means is of type string. Okay. You can also, let's say, I didn't use, for example, print. I use only type. It will also work. Okay. When you use just type, and then you provide the parameter inside the parentheses, the name of the variable, it will be showing the type. So if it's the variable is assigned a real number, when you use type, it will show you as a class. You see, it shows class float. That means, as I mentioned earlier, in Python, everything is seen as an object. Okay, this is a class, an object which is defined by its property as a class. Okay, the class representing this variable that is a name of type string. It represents an object of data. Okay, as a of the type of the value initialized in the variable. In this case, if I provide 4 inside quotes, the 4 type will be of string, not integer. Like here, let's say I have inside A, I put 4. I put 4 inside, and then when I will call type A, you will see now type A is string, is not integer. If I remove those quotes, I provide only 4, the type will be integer, okay, ints. So be aware of the manipulation of the data type. So you can also use type to get also the type of complex data type, like a list. You have a list of numbers. Okay, if you take the list of numbers here, you use this bytes function. By casting this type, it will be taking this type. It will be of type bytes. And then when you use the type function, you will provide the name of the variable. The result will be class bytes. That means this list of integer values has been converted into bytes type. You can also convert that into byte type using B. When you put B like this, it means it will take this sequence of characters and then it will convert that into bytes. Okay, let's see with this example here. I have B2, which is equal to B. Okay, I will take this hello, and then the type will be, let me show you the content of B. You see here is the content of B. And then if I check the type of B2, you will see here the type is not string but is bytes. So this is very important to know, because knowing the type of the value inside the variable will also be affecting the operations that can be performed on the variables. You can also use the byte array type to cast a list of values. Like I have value. In value, I cast a bytes array. I take a list of numbers. Okay. And then that list, I cast that as a bytes array. Okay. It's just the conversion. I convert the type of these objects into the bytes array. I make this array of integer numbers into a byte array. When I call value like this, you will see now the type of wait. You will see the type of value as change. When I print, for example, print value like this, you will see it will be changing the content of value as an array of bytes. So as you have noticed several times, we use print as a function to output the value of the variables. So you can also use print to print multiple objects simultaneously. I have shown that with the example for printing A, B, and C. Like here, you have X, which is initialized with the value of a sequence of character Python as a string, and Y and Z. Then I print that by separating each variable name by comma. In another case, okay, I want to show you how this can be represented in memory. So when the interpreter is at this point, it will take this value, okay? So you have the CPU, as I explained in the architecture before, and then you have the memory. So when you reach this step, the CPU will take the value here. This will be explained by the Python interpreter. It will put the 5 here in the memory frame here. The memory reference is X, the name of the variable. And then when it reaches at this second line, it will take this object, which is a sequence of character, and then it will assign in memory to a memory zone with the label, with the reference of the name of the variable. And then when it reaches here, it will unpack the memory, take the contents of X, and return that to the user. Same for this one. If you want to check and understand the working of the Python, you can use this visualizer. With the visualizer, you can run your Python instruction like this. You have here, we add X, we assign 5, and then 16, then print, for example, X, and then print y. Okay, this is a Python program. Using this visualizer, you can see step by step what is going on behind the scene. Okay, I click on the button, visualize. So the link is below the figures in the PPT. So when you hit the button here to run the Python program, the interpreter will be interpreting line by line. So the Python analyzer will analyze the syntax of each line. Look at here, it's take X. This global frame represents the memory, and then the object which is put in memory. Next, it take the object of value 6, which is put in the variable y. And then print, it will unpack this one. Here you have the output. And then next, you unpack by reading the content of the variable. So I wanted to introduce this tool in the case you would like to track the working of your program, okay? So that's why I wanted to introduce this one. It's very useful. Then in case, okay, you want to concatenate, okay, several outputs from several variables, you can use plus inside prints. This plus, when you use the plus operator with string type values, it will just combine them, which is called concatenation. It will put them one next to another like this. But in this case, they will be stick. The first content of X will be stick to the second and then the third. So if you wanna maybe split them to make the text more clear, you can use space between here. You make plus, you put quotes, empty quotes, and then plus, empty quotes, plus. Okay, let's try it. I go now into the Visual Studio Code. Okay, let's this time go to Anaconda. So I will use a block notes. For those who are using also block notes, they can be able to catch up. I will be switching like this to use all the techniques, okay? So I'm here in the Anaconda. I will make a new file of type notebook. I click there. When it's make a new file, you have to select the kernel. Just skip it by default. First of all, I have to rename the projects. I just double click here. I put multiple multi prints, okay? Dots IPyNB. This is the extension of Jupyter Notebook file. Okay, do not be confused. Jupyter Notebook file can only work with a Jupyter server. So the Jupyter server is provided by the Anaconda. Be sure you have already launched your server to run the Jupyter Notebook file. Okay, here I said I have X. In X, I put hello everyone, and then in Y, I put welcome to the software programming class. Okay, and then in Z, I put at Korea University, like this. Okay, then I will look at first. I will use 3 approaches. Okay, I will first print using comma. As I mentioned, you will see the difference. I will use the first approach I've explained, X, comma, Y, and then Z. After finish the encoding, okay, the typing, you can use this play button or just combine Shift Enter When you use shift enter, you will see here they say I have an unterminated string. You remember when I mentioned at the beginning, if you decide to use single quotes for your string, use that. Do not combine single and double or double and triple. So here I use single quotes. Here I have to close it with a single one. So I'm just showing you which kind of problem you may face and how you can address that. So always the interpreter is showing you the message where you made a mistake. So here I know that I have to use a single one. When I run again, you will see now the error is for the second line. I made the same mistake here. I correct that. When I run again, is the third line. Okay, I correct all, and then when I run, you will see here it shows hello world, welcome to the software programming class at Korea University. The difference here is that when I use comma, automatically this print approach, it will put space after the first output. Here's the first output, the second output, okay, until here, and then the third output. So let me now use the prints with plus, okay. Look at what will be the results. Now, the results here, you can see the first output is stick to the second here. There is no space between class and at. So if you want to fix that, you can also use this approach, print. So you can use x, okay, for example, plus, and then you add this to say that you have to put empty space, and then you put plus y plus empty space plus, like this. It will be showing the results with the empty space. Here, put the empty space like this. And then you will see there is not any issue. Class and arts a space, and then you have also another space. Okay, I hope it's clear so far. Any question? Do you have any question?
No, Professor.
Okay, I hope it's clear for everyone. I'm trying to go slowly so everyone can sync with the content. So I've shown how you can concatenate, okay, the output or the value stored in sequence of characters. Okay, now when you use plus in prints with numbers, in this case, it will do the mathematical operation. Like here, if I take x, I initialize with 5, and then y, I save 10 in y. When I put prints x, comma, y, this will be showing the output of x and y separately. But if I put prints x plus y, it will show the output that will be the result of this expression. Okay, so this is just a demonstration for the way you can use plus inside the print function. So it doesn't work as a mathematical operator when you use other object than numbers. Okay, okay, I already explained this one. Also, this case I already explained. I can skip that. In this case, I have a number and a string character. When I use this case, I have x, I put 16, and then in y, I put another type. So you can do mathematical operation only on the variables of the same type. If I put plus y here, it will be giving me a type error message because I have ints for x and then str for y. I cannot do that. But if I put, for example, here, I put the 16 inside quotes like this, it will not be seen as a number, it will be seen as a string. You see now it works because the type of the value is the same. So be aware of that also. It's very important to know that the type of the variable determine which kind of operations that can be performed um, on the variable. Okay, here are a few examples I've mentioned here. So this show how you can use an integer value. You assign that way, and then you can combine text with the value and then get the type. Within one instruction, you show this text, and then you get the type of the data here, and then the value by calling the variable name. In this example is for float variable. You show the message, you get the value inside, and then you show the type. This is for complex numbers, same. Okay, we have seen how to print, okay, and how to get the type of variables. I wanna show you also another case where you can print, okay, the memory view, okay, directly using the function memory view. This is a constructor which is implemented in Python. It's help you to get the value of object of type byte array and bytes, as I've mentioned earlier. Those are special types that are represented in a different formats. So for you to get such kind of values, you need to use memory view. Okay. You remember when I use here at the terminal, you see here I print view value. Okay. For this bytes array, it's only take the value I stored before, okay, for byte array. So I cannot access that because of the formatting problem. So if I take the same value here, while I use, for example, view, I can say view, memory view. You will see now the difference. Memory view of value, which has been encoded as a bytes and byte array. You will see in this sequence here, byte array, I couldn't show it when I print with the function print because of the formatting. The print here just use the previous value I store here, but this one in memory is represented as follow. So for me to read bytes array type, I have to use the memory view. So this is the way this list of integer is stored in memory. This is the type of byte array. So I wanted to mention that. Okay, I think I've covered many points so far. I will give you 15 minutes break time. Then I will complete with this file, and then I will explain how to submit the the assignment in the Codel platform. So take 15 minutes break. So we'll start again at 3:40. Meanwhile, if you have questions, do not hesitate to raise your hand or open your mic and speak out to raise your question. So you are free. So relax a bit. I've covered a lot of contents, so it may be difficult for you to digest that from now. Relax a bit for 15 minutes and then you come back.
Sorry, Professor, I have a question.
Oh dear.
Okay. What is your question?
Yeah, I have a question about the midterm exams. I was wondering, have you ever already decided how it's gonna look like, or it's gonna be announced later?
Okay. I was planning to make an announcement about that since you have raised that question. Just be patient. I will answer to that question when I will be talking about the assignment for today.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I hope everyone is there. So before I start, I have few announcement again. For those who still didn't join the Codel platform, I hope you do your best to join until today because there is an assignment that I will explain, which has been posted in the KULMS. I will show you how you can submit the assignment using the Codel platform as soon as I finish the remaining slides. Okay, are you all there?
Yes.
Yes, Professor.
Okay, I will resume with the explanation about the output of memory view. So I showed how you can print the output of the memory view. Let's try also this example here. So you will see one more example on how to let me now this time try the online VS Codes interpreter. Okay. So I've been using 3 platform. So this is just to give a sense to everyone who is facing difficulties uh, to use such kind of issue tool. So this time using the online VS Code platform, after I've installed the plugin for Python, I can now go to the folder which I've loaded from my local disk. Inside this folder, I make a new file by clicking on this icon. So I say print memory view. So this is the name of my project .py. And then I will save that. So let me reduce the window so I can see. Let me just remove this one from here. Okay, here I have my working space. It's now in the browser. I'm showing how you can use the version of the VS Code, which is available online at the https://vscode.dv. Okay, so first of all, for you to print the memory contents, there is a library, okay, which is required for us to print the content of the array as it is here, okay, in memory. So you can import a library which is called array to manipulate arrays in Python. And then you have a variable which is called arr, ARR, because if I use array, is a keyword. Okay, Python will give me an error. Array is a keyword, as you can see, is a class object. On that class is a topic, as I mentioned. On that topic, I have all those functionalities, okay, that can be performed on the array. So for me, I take array. I wanna make an array in memory. Okay, this is a flag. And then I put lists of integer values for 5. And then I take view equal. View is a variable. And then in the view, I take the memory view of my variable R, and then I will print the view. So I write a program of 4 lines. When I run this one, as you can notice here in the browser, you don't have the play button as if it is provided in the local one. You can change the setup of your working space to add those menus. If you don't have that, another way is just to go to this button, and then you let's go just to the terminal. You can run it from the terminal. You are here, and then you click here. You have 3 bar. You can click on run and debug, but you need to install that. But just go to the terminal. When you go to the terminal, here you have the terminal which is not available online because of the security issue. If you want to connect this one to your local terminal, we need some security, okay, mechanism for you to run that. So because if you just authorize your browser to change the content of your local disk, you may expose yourself to security issues. So here you can see I already type my code. So I can now, for example, go to my folder here, or the local. Here's my file. You can see it, okay? Print memory. So from here, I can run using my local Python by running in this bar cmd to launch the window terminal, and then call the Python instruction, and then I provide print memory view to run my scripts. You can see here's the output of my Python program I have edited from my Visual Studio Code online version. And here is the memory content of the list of integer I've implemented so far. So here is another way. So everyone can choose the way of running Python, which is convenient, okay, for you. In some cases, you may want to delete, let's say, a variable, okay, which is referencing to a memory address, okay. For you to delete a variable, you use the keyword del, but make sure that you don't need anymore that variable, because if you delete a variable, you cannot access again to the variable in your program or in your working space. And then add the name of the variable. You can delete one variable or a set of variable at once. So here is the format, del name of variable, variable 1, variable 2, until n if you need. For example, here in this Python scripts, you have a counter, which is initialized with the number hundreds. You print the content, and then del. When you print again, it will give you an error message because the because the variable still not existing again. So when you call again the variable, it will not work. So let's try that here in the Jupyter notebook. My notebook I have here. I can just reduce and make a new cell, okay? I make a new cell. In this new cell is a code type cell, okay? I want just to reduce it so I can see the code and then type in the code. So in this new cell, I have counter, okay, which is assign a value of hundreds. And then the next instruction, I print that. Then I decide to delete that counter variable. And then I want to print again this variable to see the content of the variable. When I run this, let me first comment this. You will see. I just comment. Those lines will not be executed by the Python interpreter. So here, when I run this, you will see the content of counter is hundreds. Then, if I run it for the second time, I remove the comment here. So I have a script with 4 instructions. These statements will remove or delete the variable in my working space. Okay. When I run again this, you will see for the first time, it will run and print hundreds. When it reach at this line number 5, it will show an error. Okay. It will not found again the counter because I already deleted. Name counter is not defined. So that means I delete the variable. Those are kind of critical operations. You cannot do that without being aware of what you are doing. Okay. When you use the deletes, it cannot be used once. Okay. Wherever you use again that script, it will give an error because the variable will not be found in the domain, okay, of the usage of your program. So this is also a particular case I wanted to emphasize on it. So far we have seen how to assign variables, to initialize them, how to manipulate variables, okay, by doing, for example, mathematical operations and print the output. So now let's see how we can provide inputs from outside. Python provide a built-in function which is called inputs, just the opposite of prints. It's help us to provide values for variables at the right time. The syntax is on the left side, you have the variable name followed by the operator equal for assignments, and then you have the instruction or the function of the inputs. Okay, so you can also put other parameters inside. Oh, last time I mentioned there was a case for row inputs. There was even a question about that. Row inputs is now officially removed, okay, in the Python since the version 3.6. It was existing until 2.7. So now the row input is replaced by input. You have only one instruction for input is input. So I wanted to emphasize on it. So in this case, for example, you have a code where you would like to initialize data, okay, for variables. We have seen how to initialize the value inside the program, which is called hard-coded, okay, values. So you define the values of your variables, so they don't change, okay, as the program it's been used. So all the time when you run this program, it will always show the message, "Hello, my name is Merlek."
예. 아?
It will always say
알도?
the message, "Hello, my name is Merlek."
누구?
Please be muted.
누구? 그 3층은 근데 아직 내렸어요? 아직 내리지 않았어요?
Please be muted. Okay. it will always show the same message. Hello, my name is Merlek. I'm from this city, Lubumbashi. So this will be the outputs. So I want to make it dynamic. So user can provide the inputs as they use the program. So for that, I replace that initial value by this instruction inputs with parentheses. This means it's a function. Okay, that will be collecting the data from outside. So when I run this one, you will see it will ask me to provide input from the terminal. Okay, let's now me use the local inputs example. I make a new Python script using the local version of my VS Code. My program has only 4 lines. I will make it on the other side. So I can use this space name equal inputs and then city equal inputs. Okay. Then I will output the contents by showing the message hello, my name is, then I put comma to put the name of the variables that will provide the value to be printed. Then I am from, so this program is some way generalized. Okay, so anyone can provide inputs will be run. Okay, so you can see here is the program I've written, which is generalized. When I run here, you will see, look at here down, this is inviting me to provide the input here. I say, my name is Merlek. Wait, I will make it big like this. Okay. You see the message here? Okay, let's me now run it. This means it's asking me to provide the name. My name is Malik. Enter. It's waiting for the second inputs. I'm from, let's say, Seoul. When I hit enter, you see the output is my name is Malik. I'm from Seoul. So I made the program generalized. I will take the same inputs here of my code and use the notebook. I go to Anaconda here. I make a new cell. When I run this, you can see it's asking me to provide inputs. Here is clear. My name is Kim. And then I'm from Korea. You see, it's help you to interact with the program using the input function. So in some cases, you may want to provide a message that's showing to the user what to do. For you, you can prompt a message inside the print like this. Inside the print, you provide a message that need to be shown. So the user will be guided. So let's just modify this one in a new cell down here Just paste this one. You have just to add a message, okay, saying that enter inside the code, enter your name, okay. The message will be shown and then it will wait for the user to provide the name. Enter your TT. Okay, when I run this one, I didn't close here. I have to close. When I run, you see now it provides this message. Enter your name. My name is John. I am from Paris. And the output will be, my name is John and I am from Paris. Quite simple, right? So far, I've shown you how to interact with the computer using Python program, how you can input variable, how you can output, and how you can check the types of variables. So this is for the assignments. When you go here, you will see this green icon, Python coding assignment, number 1. You have also the self-practice exercises, okay? In PDF, you can just print them and write by hand if you want to solve all the problem. I've provided also the questions in the notebook file. You can just download and try to respond to those questions. This is for your own practice. But this Python coding assignment will be graded, okay? I will do a few exercises to show you how you can resolve and then how you can submit your solution, okay? So I go inside. If you already joined the class, so you can go in your Codel classroom, you will see the file of the assignment, which will be available for you. The deadline is until next week, Thursday, before midnight. Be sure you have submitted your assignment. Before you submit, be sure that you have tested, okay, the code, it works, and you have the output as shown, okay? Let me go to my Codel platform. I will sign in. After signing in my Codel, I will see the classes, okay? Here are the classes because I'm the one managing all your classes. I can access to all the classes. For you, you can just go to join classroom. When you go into join classroom, you will see the class you have joined, okay? And then enter the class, you will see a blue folder like this. One for demonstration and one for the quiz. The demonstration is just for testing. You can do that together with me now or later. You can just test to be sure that you understand how to submit the code, okay? Because I can provide the solution while explaining for the demonstration. You can do the same and practice. The second one, week 5 quiz, is the assignment that need to be submitted and it will be graded. So first of all, let me show you how to write your code using Codel platform and submit it. So I enter here in demonstration card. It will take few minutes to load the Jupyter notebook file. Now it has loaded the Jupyter notebook file. You can see a 5-week probe demo dots ipynb. Here is the question, okay? I hope you are following me. So here is the Jupyter notebook questions. You have only 5 questions. For you to write your code and submit the code, double click on the button here. Each question is coded as a dynamic object. When you click here on the question, double click, you will see it will open a new tab here on the on the top, okay? On the top. And then you can provide the solution in the first zone. This is the first zone, which is used for editing the solution. This is the editor zone. And the second zone here is where the result will be shown, the output. And then you can submit by clicking on the button submit. Then you remember last time I've explained how to understand the problem and how to solve a given problem. The problem is described here as follows. You are given two integers, print the sum, okay? Difference, products, and division results. Here they give you some hints. For inputs, you need to define on the first line how to read, okay, an integer value. Second line, how to read an integer value that will be stored as a variable b. And then the logics will build this logic. First, you have to print the sum of a plus b, then a minus b, then a multiplied by b, and then a divided by b. They give you examples here. Please use the input examples, okay, for the testing of your program. Because if you don't submit your solution with the result using these inputs which are provided, the system will not be able to match your scripts with the solution that has been already provided as a setting. So it may consider your logic as failing. So be sure that you use the same inputs to get the same outputs. When you get this result, then you can submit your logic. Like here, the first line, as I mentioned, I have to initialize the value of A like this. Okay, let's say, for example, instead of using a generalized program, they say that you are given, okay, instead of using the inputs, I can just say that I will add codes my values, like I should provide A as 10, and then I provide B as 2, okay? Then my logic first is to print A plus B, then A minus B, then A multiplied by B, and then A divided by by B. When I finish my script, to test it, I can run the button here, execute. It will provide the outputs. Then I can check whether the outputs match the expected outputs here. If it's okay, I can now hit on the bottom, submit. When I click on submit, I have to wait until the process is finished. You can see here, they show me that it's wrong. Why? Because I didn't follow the instruction. I had coded these values, but according to the question, I have to give the possibility to the user to provide values. So when I provide that version like this, then in this case, I will test again. When I test, you see here, it asked me to provide the value. I provide the inputs 10, enter to confirm. Then the second input is 2. I press enter to confirm. Then here's the output. Okay, when I'm sure that the output is matching the expected output for the given input, now I can submit. When I submit, I have to wait until the submission. Okay, here you can see is the correct answer. So because the solution will be automatically graded by the program. If you don't follow the instruction, it will fail. Okay. And you can see here I have proceeded with the assignment at 20%. Because I have 5 questions, I have to submit all the 5 questions to reach 100%. If I finish this one, okay, I can just close this button or just leave it. You go in the first tab is here. You will see that the page, the cell is a markdown cell. It will be showing the script like this. Just click on the button, execute. It will be shown again like this, okay, in the text format. I've already completed the first question. I go to the second question. It will do the same. I have the question here, specification, and then the inputs and outputs. Here I have the zone where I have to provide my solution. The question says that you are given 2 integers representing width and height of a rectangle. You are asked to calculate and print the area of the rectangle. Determine if the rectangle is a square or a rectangle at the print result. So that means I have to mention a text when I will be printing my result. For example, here I have this variable which is called width. I fix it to be integer because they have said that it should be of type integer. And then inside I say inputs like this. And then second line, I have the height. Which should be also integer. I use casting method, which I've explained today. I will take the input from the user. Then I have a variable which I call area that will be taking the result of the calculation of the area of my rectangle. Then I have to print. In the print, I say that, okay, area is, and then I put like this. Just a simple solution. So if it doesn't match the expectation, you will get the feedback. I run it. Okay, they say I should provide 10 as the inputs, enter 5 as the heights. Okay, here's the value of the area, 50. Okay, if the results match the expected outputs, then I can click on submit. I wait until the submission is completed. Okay, it's accepted. That means it's a good solution. You can see the progress here is 40%. I've completed 2 questions. Then I go back here again, click on the third question. I read the question, I provide answer. So for the third question is simple. Just you have 3 variables, A, which is equal to inputs to provide the inputs, and then B, inputs that should be read and provided by the user inputs. Okay, then they say you are given 3 values A, B, and C. You should compare after converted all of them to string. Okay, so what do I have to do here? I do prints. In the print, I have now to convert. Okay, the casting. You remember A? I have to check whether A is equal to B or equal to C. Okay, let's try. Here's the solution. They say I should provide, for example, 5. I provide 5 and then 5.0 and then I provide 5 again. Say here is false. Okay, false. Why? Because when I convert this integer in string, it will take the 3 parts: the 5, decimal point, and 0, which will not match 5 and 5 in the other cases. Okay, you can also take, for example, another example. You use hello. Say hello, hello. In this case, it's true. But if I change just one character, I put capital letter, it will not match. So since this is good, I can submit. When I submit, it is accepted. My progress will be increasing. So when you finish all the question, you can close and save the session. So that's it for the assignments, for what you have to do. Okay, I hope it's clear. Because when you submit the question, they will be automatically graded. Any question about that?
Sorry, Professor. Earlier you mentioned we have to save it.
Look at here. When I exit, okay, here, sometime it will ask you to save the session. If it doesn't ask you, let's say for example, you didn't finish, but you close, okay? You close the window, okay? It will be saving automatically. If it doesn't ask you to save, just let everything to be saved automatically. But if it asks you to save, because you didn't complete the all assignment, you have to save it. Otherwise, all the process you have made will be lost. This is what I wanted to mention.
Okay,
But
thank
if
you.
it doesn't ask you, just leave it. As you can see here, I already proceeded at 60%. So I can come back later, resume again. When I enter, it will be 60% like this. I wait until it's loaded. I have to confirm, okay, 60%. What are the questions I've already completed? If I enter here, you can see I already submitted. It's okay. Second question, it's okay. Third question, it's okay. Fourth question, I still didn't submit. I can resume from where I left the last time until I complete 100%. When I complete 100%, okay, the assignment is completed, and then we will automatically receive your solution. That's it for the assignment that need to be submitted by next week, Thursday. Good luck. They are just simple questions, okay?